Gabriel Cole knew he had no business riding into Willow Ridge with a price on his head, and the sheriff itching to finally catch him. But the warm glow of lanterns lighting the dusty main street pulled him forward all the same. More than lanterns, more than whiskey, more than trouble. He came for her, Emilia Hart, the saloon songbird, with a voice soft as silk and strong as river steel. As he tied his horse behind the old grain shed, Gabriel tugged his hat low, keeping to the shadows. The night breeze carried the faint echo of her voice, drifting from the saloon, and it pulled at him like a hook. He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't risk it. Yet here he was, same as every full moon, sneaking into town like a lovesick fool. Slipping through the back alley, he entered the saloon through the kitchen door. The cook, old Martha, glanced over but didn't say a word. Everyone in Willow Ridge knew about Emilia and the outlaw who stole her heart. They just didn't mention it, not with the sheriff stomping around like a bull in a glass shop. Gabriel pressed himself against the hallway wall, peeking out just enough to catch sight of the stage. There she stood, bathed in golden lamplight, singing a slow, aching tune. Her auburn hair shimmered, her blue dress hugging her form as she leaned into the melody. The room full of rowdy cowhands and drifters grew still as her voice wrapped around them like the hush before dawn. But she wasn't singing for them. She was singing for him. Gabriel felt it, every note aimed straight at his heart. Her eyes skimmed the crowd, searching, hoping. When she spotted his silhouette near the wall, her breath caught, and she touched the silver locket he'd given her last spring. A smile, small but recurved on her lips. The saloon doors crashed open. Sheriff Langford marched in, dust clouds swirling around his boots. His voice boomed through the room. Gabriel Cole's been sighted near the ridge. I want eyes open. If anyone's hiding him, speak up now. Gabriel stiffened, hand instinctively brushing the grip of his revolver. Emilia's song faltered for a half-second before she gracefully shifted into a livelier tune, masking the sudden tension. He knew what he needed to do. He had to leave before he put them both in danger. But when Emilia stepped off stage during a brief applause break, she moved straight toward the hallway. Straight toward him. Straight toward trouble. Gabriel, she whispered, grabbing his hand. Please, don't go yet. His heart twisted. He was a wanted man. She was the only thing he'd ever wanted. And sometimes, love itself was the most dangerous outlaw of all. Gabriel let Emilia pull him into the dim back room behind the saloon stage. The smell of whiskey-soaked wood and stage dust filling the small space. The room was barely the size of a closet, lit only by the tiny oil lamp on the table, but to him it felt like the safest place in the world. Not because of the walls, because she was in it. Emilia shut the door softly, pressing her back against it. You shouldn't be here, Gabriel, she whispered, voice trembling with emotion. Sheriff Langford has half the town riled up. And yet, Gabriel murmured, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek, here I am. He didn't apologize. He never did when it came to her. She took in his dust-coated clothes, the exhaustion tucked into the corners of his eyes. You've been running again, always, he said. But tonight, I needed to hear you sing. Her expression softened, though worry still shadowed her gaze. It gets harder every time you come back. I'm scared one day you won't make it. He stepped closer, resting his forehead against hers. I'll always make it to you. For a moment, the world outside faded. The sheriff, the danger, the outlaw reputation Gabriel never asked for. All that remained was the quiet rhythm of their breath and the comfort of familiar touch. She held his hands tightly. I can't keep watching you risk your life just to stand in the same room as me, and I can't keep riding away from the only good thing in my life. His voice cracked with honesty he rarely let anyone hear. Emilia, you're my safe place. Even if the whole damn territory wants me gone, you make me feel like I still belong somewhere. Emilia swallowed hard, emotion thick in her throat. Then stay. Just for tonight. Outside, boots stomped across the floorboards. Sheriff Langford barked orders. Chairs scraped. The saloon buzzed with tension. Gabriel knew he shouldn't. He knew every minute he stayed in town was another chance to get caught. But when Emilia's fingers lifted to cradle his face, all the reasons to leave vanished like dust in the wind. "All right," he breathed. One night, her relieved smile lit him from the inside. She leaned up, pressing the gentlest kiss to his lips, sweet, aching, and far too brief, until a heavy fist hammered on the backroom door. "Emilia Hart," Sheriff Langford barked. "I need a word." Gabriel froze. Emilia stiffened. Their quiet moment shattered like thin glass. She whispered, "Hide. Now." There was only one place behind the wardrobe. Gabriel slipped behind it silently, just as the door swung open. Sheriff Langford stepped inside, suspicious eyes scanning every corner, and Emilia stood alone, steadying her voice, steadying her heart, steadying the lie she was about to tell to protect the man she loved. Sheriff Langford strode inside, his badge catching the lamplight as he narrowed his gaze at Emilia. The room felt smaller with him in it, the air tense as a drawn bowstring. Behind the wardrobe, Gabriel remained motionless, every muscle locked tight. "Emilia," the sheriff began, "I know you see all sorts of folks backstage. So I'm gonna ask you plain, have you seen Gabriel Cole tonight?" Emilia clasped her hands, steadying herself. "No, Sheriff. I've been performing all evening. Haven't seen anyone backstage, except Martha and the piano man." The sheriff studied her face carefully, searching for cracks. Emilia held his gaze, though her pulse thudded like galloping hooves. "You sure about that?" he pressed. "Word is, he's been sneaking into town to hear you sing. Folks say you two are close." Her stomach tightened, but she kept her voice calm. "Folks say plenty of things. Doesn't make 'em true." Langford stepped deeper into the room, eyes scanning the shadows. Behind the wardrobe, Gabriel's breath grew shallow. He'd faced gunfights, ambushes, and bounty hunters without flinching. But the idea of Emilia paying the price for hiding him, that rattled him worse than any bullet. "I don't like liars," Langford said low, "especially when a dangerous outlaw's involved." "He's not dangerous," Emilia shot back before she could stop herself. Silence dropped thick and heavy. The sheriff cocked a brow. "You talk like you know him." Realizing the slip, Emilia forced herself to breathe. "I meant, folks exaggerate. You know how stories grow." The sheriff crossed his arms, unconvinced. "Funny thing is, Emilia, every time Gabriel Cole is reported near town, your songs sound a whole lot sadder. Like a woman waitin' for someone who shouldn't be worth waitin' for." Her temper flashed. "Sheriff, my songs are none of your concern, and your safety is mine," he replied, voice softening just a little. "He's trouble. You're better off far from it." Emilia swallowed hard. "Sheriff, I'm fine, truly." Langford let out a long breath, lingering another moment before tipping his hat. "If you see anything or anyone, you come straight to me." She nodded. "Of course." He hesitated, then turned and walked out, boots echoing down the hall. The door closed. Emilia sagged against it, exhaling shakily. "You can come out now." Gabriel stepped from behind the wardrobe, jaw tight, eyes full of guilt. "Emilia, I shouldn't via put you in that position." She moved to him, taking his face in both hands. "I'll protect you the same way you'd protect me." He pulled her close, burying his face in her shoulder. "I can't keep hiding in the shadows. I need to clear my name. One day, I want to walk into this saloon, sit front row, and watch you sing without looking over my shoulder." Emilia's heart squeezed. "Then, let's find a way." But before either could say another word, a gunshot cracked from outside, followed by shouting. Gabriel stiffened. That wasn't a warning shot. They hurried to the window. Down on the street, torchlight flickered as a group of riders stormed into town, faces covered, guns raised. Not bounty hunters, not the sheriff's men, someone far worse. Emilia whispered, "Gabriel, who are they?" His answer was grim. "Men from my past. And they ain't here for peace." The riders thundered into Willow Ridge like a storm, dust swirling in their wake. Their bandanas masked their faces, but Gabriel knew them instantly. Old members of the Red Canyon gang, the crew he once rode with before he broke away. Before he realized he wanted more than outlaw life could ever give him. "They're cumin' for me," Gabriel muttered. "And for anyone standin' close." Emilia's breath trembled. "What do we do?" "First, we get you someplace safe." But Emilia shook her head fiercely. "I'm not leaving you." Gunfire blasted from the street. The saloon crowd screamed, scrambling under tables. Sheriff Langford and his deputies rushed out, taking cover behind barrels. Gabriel peeked through the window again. "Damn, Briggs is leading them." "Briggs," Emilia whispered. "The man who thinks he owns the gang, and every mistake I ever made." Gabriel turned to her, urgency in his voice. "Emilia, listen to me. Once I rode with those men, I stole. I lied. I hurt people. I ain't proud of any of it. But I left because of you. Because you made me want something better." Her eyes softened. "Gabriel," he grabbed her hands. "But they ain't letting me go easy. Briggs wants me dead for levying. And if he finds out you're why I walked away." He shook his head. "I won't let him lay a finger on you." Before Emilia could protest, the saloon doors burst open. People rushed to the back rooms, panicked. A deputy shouted, "Outlaw gangs rounding up anyone in the streets." Gabriel made a decision. "I'm drawing them away." "No." Emilia's voice broke. "You'll get killed." He brushed his thumb along her cheek. "I'd rather die fightin' than watch them hurt you." With a sudden kiss, desperate, fiery, full of fear, he pulled away and grabbed his revolver. "Stay hidden," he said. "Please." But as he reached for the door, Emilia grabbed his arm. "Take this." She slipped the silver locket from her neck and pressed it into his hand. "So you come back to me." His chest tightened. He closed his fingers around it. Then he was gone. The streets were chaos, gunfire, shouts, and dust. Gabriel stepped out from the shadows, calling out to Briggs. "Briggs, I'm right here." The gang leader reined his horse sharply, turning toward the voice. Well, Briggs sneered. "Look who crawled out from hidin'. You want me? Leave the town out of it." Briggs grinned. "Oh, I planned to. After I finished the job, you ran from—" He signaled his men. Bullets tore through the night. Gabriel ducked behind a wagon, firing back. Sheriff Langford cursed from behind a trough, realizing the gang wasn't after the town at a lonely, the outlaw he'd spent years chasing. For one wild second, their eyes met. A silent agreement passed between them. They had a common enemy. "Langford," shouted Cole, "you flank left, I'll take right." Gabriel hesitated briefly, nodded. The outlaw and the sheriff fought side by side. But from the saloon doorway, Emilia watched in terror as Briggs leveled his gun squarely at Gabriel's chest. She screamed his name. He turned. Too late. The shot fired, and Gabriel dropped to his knees. "Gabriel." Emilia's scream cut through the chaos as she rushed into the open street, ignoring shouts telling her to stay back. Gabriel staggered, one hand pressed to his side. Blood seeped through his shirt, dark and frightening. He clutched the locket she'd given him, fingers shaking as he fought to stay upright. Briggs aimed again, sneering. "Should have stayed dead to us, Cole." Suddenly, a gunshot rang out. Not his. Sheriff Langford's pistol smoked as Briggs toppled from his horse. The gang, stunned, scattered like spooked cattle. Deputies chased them down the street, shouts echoing into the night. And just like that, the battle was over. But for Emilia, the only thing that mattered was the man sinking to the ground. She dropped to her knees beside him, tears streaking her dusted face. Gabriel, look at me." He tried to smile. "I told you I'd come back." She pressed trembling hands to his wound, trying to stop the bleeding. "Stay with me. Don't you dare leave me now. Not after everything." He leaned into her touch, breath shallow. "I ain't going anywhere. Not if you're here." Langford knelt beside them, expression tight with guilt and something like respect. "We need to get him to Doc Avery, now." Between the sheriff and two deputies, they carried Gabriel inside the saloon and laid him across a long table. Doc Avery rushed in with his bag, rolling up his sleeves. "Bullet went clean through," he muttered. "He's lucky if it were an inch to the left. He didn't finish. Emilia clutched Gabriel's hand the entire time as the doctor worked, whispering soothing words between sobs. Gabriel squeezed back, weak but alive. Hours passed. Finally, Doc Avery wiped his brow and said, "He'll live. But he's not riding anywhere for a long while." Emilia let out a broken, relieved laugh. "Good. He's staying right here." Gabriel blinked up at her. "You're really not sending me away?" She leaned down, kissing his forehead. Then his lips, slow, grateful, full of love he thought he'd never deserve. "I'm done watching you leave," she whispered. "You fought to get your life back. Now, stay and build it with me." Langford cleared his throat. "As sheriff, I can't promise to forget who you were. But after tonight, I sure as hell know the kind of man you are now. We'll talk about clearing your record once you're on your feet." Gabriel stared at him, stunned. Emilia's hand tightened around his. A future, a real one. For the first time, it felt possible. Later, when dawn finally slipped over Willow Ridge, Emilia stood on the saloon stage again. She sang softly, voice warm and trembling with hope. Gabriel listened from his cot in the corner, eyes fixed on her like she hung the stars. Her song floated through the saloon, gentle and bright, a serenade, not of sorrow, but of second chances. And at the end, she whispered into the mic, "Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Western stories."